Welcome back. Today, we're back with the Bets channel, and we have the MLB. MLB's finally back, rolling around. Tony's favorite season. We have some previews for today. We're going to be breaking this up by, I guess it's conferences, AL, NL, and we're going to be going division by division. Talking about winners, going to talk about over-under for team totals, going to be talking about player props, just kind of everything you need for today being the NL East, Central, and West. So we're going to be going everything pretty much you guys are going to be looking forward to. Make sure to drop your comments down below what you guys are looking forward to, who you think is going to be a good team, bad team, what your thoughts are. I know at least in our Discord we have a lot of Mets fans. We have a lot of guys that are all over the place. So we'll see how you guys feel about these takes.
Yeah, I'm excited for the NL because honestly I think the top 5 teams are probably all in the National League. So it kind of makes things tough when deciding like who's going to win divisions, who's going to make playoffs. But a lot of good teams in the NL, very competitive.
Yeah, I think even the bottom teams this year can definitely shake up a lot when you're looking at just team totals. Like at least when I was going through them, I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of these bottom feeder teams that could definitely be taken advantage of for the over-unders, like the way they move this offseason, that I think we can get some lines, especially because we can bake in some guys. I feel like there's a lot of high injury chance, a lot of blow-up chance. For some of these teams to just kind of and it all change. So,
all right. Want to start in the East?
Yeah, we can start in the East. It's the easiest way. Obviously, the Braves are favored here. We're doing everything for odds for division lines based off FanDuel. So if you're seeing different odds, that's why. But the Braves at plus 135, the Phillies plus 180, going down to the Mets at 210, and then the Nationals and the Marlins have 0 shot.
Yep.
So it's pretty much a 3-man race. The Mets obviously made the biggest moves this season, the biggest name moves this season. The Braves are just the powerhouse Braves at this point. If they can stay healthy, they're like one of the best teams in baseball. There's no questions about that. The Phillies, it pretty much depends on how hot their bats can get in October. And throughout the regular season, they're off and on, but I feel like they have definitely their months of swings to where they'll lose a bunch of games, especially in the beginning. I feel like they've started slow the past 2 seasons, and then they just pick it up. About the May, June, and then they get rolling over the course of the middle of the season there. Especially someone like a Trey Turner. I think he should come out hot. A few guys like that. But Mets, obviously, Juan Soto's now beloved home. So everyone is going to be freaking out about that.
Yeah, I think I said top 5 teams. I think we have teams 2, 3, 4 here. And I think how FanDuel has them ordered in most likely to win division is probably correct.
Yep.
The Braves, I think, won 89 games last year.
They did.
And, I mean, it's funny because that was like a season from hell from them. They had 100%. So many injuries. Basically, everything went wrong. It felt like they hit their, 20th percentile outcome and were still, a playoff team. So, I've taken the Braves to win the division here. I think if you can get this team with plus money, the Phillies and the Mets are going to be super competitive with them, but I still think you're getting one of the best lineups, one of the best pitching rotations, even though they lost Max Fried. I still think. I
mean, getting Strider back though, that's.
You
lose Fried, but Strider's now back. He missed for almost all of last season. So, again, we don't know how healthy he truly will be, but coming back, you got to feel pretty confident about getting him back in the lineup.
Yeah, I think this is, still the best team in the division, even if you get really limited action from, Acuna and Strider.
100%.
And then the fact that they can be worked back in. It'll be interesting to see what both guys are coming off, major injuries, but...
And Acuna back-to-back injuries at that. So we'll see how that goes. I think I still have faith in him. Obviously, it's tough. Everyone's like, 2 knees, you're kind of cooked after that back-to-back. But I feel like he's just so good that it's not going to matter. Their team total this year is 93.5 wins. So obviously the projection there is massive. Again, like you said, though, we're still having in the high 80s of wins last year with it being such a injury-riddled season. I feel like 93 is a very hittable mark for them. They could be pushing over the 100 mark for sure, as long as everything goes their way.
Yeah.
Phillies, how are you feeling about the Phils this year? I'm honestly down on the Phils, but that's maybe just a little bit of me not liking Philly as just a person since I grew up there, a bunch of buddies there. But I think part of it comes down to can they have as hot of bats as they did last year? They had in May, at least, of last year, and looking back, they had such a hot May. They had such a hot July that if they have these months where they rip off like 10, 15 wins and they're winning 8 of the 10, 9 of the 10, like they were. I don't know if they have those stretches this year. I don't feel as confident in the Phillies this year. I don't know. Maybe it's just like this one's more of just an inkling to me.
Yeah.
I feel like those stretches were kind of just insane, and I don't see them having those back-to-back-to-back just elite ball games like they did last year. So also their team total, when I looked at it, I looked at it on DK though. I didn't look at it on FanDuel. Was high as hell. Let me go see if I can find it. Yeah, 90.5 wins feels like a high mark for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a high mark for any team, but I do think this is a really well-rounded team. Like their lineup a lot. Obviously at the top, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, those guys are, mashers.
Yeah, of course.
I like the addition of Max Kepler that they bring into their lineup. I think Bryson Stott can make some progressions this year. Yeah, totally. I think
him.
Marsh is definitely a good platoon bat. I think just like 1 through 9, I feel either great or like really solid about all their hitters. And then I think their pitching rotation is super nice. Zach Wheeler, I think you can make an argument. He's like one of the best pitchers in baseball. I think he's like top 3. And then Christopher Sanchez is going to win you a bunch of games. Same with Nola. Suarez is an interesting guy. Like he kind of fell off last season, but Suarez and Luzardo as your 4-5 is nice. You also got like, a guy like Andrew Painter waiting in the wing. So, between those 3 guys trying to figure out who your 4 and 5 is, I think it's going to be, great pitching up front. And then your bullpen, you lose Hoffman, which I think is going to hurt your bullpen. Maybe this is like the weakness
I think 100%
of their team.
Is. And I was gonna get to that for sure. Like I feel like last year they struggled late in games. When they lost late in games. They would have big leads, lose them at the very end. And I think this is like a weakness that they have, is where their bullpen just doesn't have they don't have like a real guy to go to, I feel like, in their bullpen, to where I feel confident that winning games in and out is going to be easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, Romano, I think, is super sketchy. I don't know if I feel like he's not going to end the season as their closer. He might get first cracks at saves, but Jose Alvarado is probably their best bullpen arm that they got.
100%.
Also, like I'm fine with Strom. I'm fine, with I don't know. It's not the best bullpen for sure, but like I don't know. I still think the Phillies have a really high floor.
Yeah, and especially because Zach Wheeler and Nola can go pretty late in games.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty confident about them being able to. And Suarez even last year, like Suarez had some really, really good stretches of last year to where he was playing some elite ball. So we'll see if he can continue to do that. And obviously, Painter, you're hoping that he continues to keep balling out. Like he had a little bit of struggle last year, but I think he can put it together, get his feet under him for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
kid.
How many innings did they even pitch last year?
Not many, but I know he got some at the end because I bet on him. It didn't go hot, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about the Phillies. I think they're like definitely a playoff team. I don't think they still feel like a decent step below the Braves for me though. 100%. So
I think the odds kind of show that plus 180 compared to 130. I feel like it's a solid stretch. What about the Mets though? Obviously, the Mets have I would say, one of the most hype in all of baseball right now.
Yeah, I mean their lineup is sick as fuck. Like I think they're gonna score hella runs. They're one of the best offenses. I don't love their pitching rotation, but like how many innings you're gonna get from Kodai Senga? Don't really know. It kind of sucks that he's like one of your better starting arms because it was better when you had like guys like Scherzer and Verlander who you thought could eat innings, and then like if Senga's like going off, he's like your 3. But it just feels like a lot of guys that you're hoping can last through like the season and a bunch of innings, like Clay Holmes going from a reliever to a starter. Sean Manaea now dealing with an injury. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think he's going to be fine, but like I don't know. The 1 through 5 in the starting rotation for the Mets is not very appealing to me.
Now their win total is even 110 over on the over and the under. How do you feel about the 90.5 mark for them?
Yeah, I think the Phillies have a way better chance of getting to 90 wins than the Mets.
I think they have. Yeah, I think they can catch fire easier than the Mets. Because I definitely think you're right on their starting rotation holds them back. I think the floor is higher for the Mets, though, than I think for
Really?
the Phillies. Yeah, because I think that bullpen for the Phillies can kill them late in games more often than the Mets.
Yeah. The Mets bullpen is nice, too. I
100%.
like the bullpen. Maybe they acquire a starting arm like halfway through the season. They're definitely a team that's going to be buyers at the deadline. They would have to be an absolute disaster to like not eventually add another arm to it. But right now, I just think that's a massive hole in this team overall. But Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, Vientos, even Winker. Like I really like the bats in this lineup, and guys like Francisco Alvarez. Did he get hurt recently? I'm seeing that he has an injury tag next to him. I'm not sure what that is, but he's a dude that I think can have a massive breakout and can be a fucking star, dude.
Yeah, no, he's I don't even see the injury on him.
15 hours ago, Francisco Alvarez to miss significant time with hand fracture.
15, nice, that's lit. All right, well that changes things a little bit. 90's not looking so hot right now with major injuries.
Yeah, that's actually super unfortunate. 6 to 8 weeks. I mean,
6 to 8 weeks isn't gonna kill you though.
Yeah, I guess you never really know how he's gonna come back from a hand fracture. It doesn't feel like that major.
Well, we'll keep it pushing on divisions, right? I mean, Nationals, no chance.
Do you have a win total
that I like
for anybody in this division?
I like the Marlins win total to go under.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I think their win total is just a little bit high for me. Scroll down. I think I had it pulled up. Yeah, 63.5 feels like a tall task for a team that I feel like just was 4-4 across the board last year, giving up 4 runs and only ranking in 4 runs per game. They're an even team. They didn't get any better. I only see this division got tougher. I think it's just a hard sell for me to go over the 63.5 mark when I feel like they've only regressed. Obviously, Sandy's there. He's the only guy I think I can rely on in that starting rotation that I would feel even remotely confident in right now. Everyone else is kind of truly just a hit or miss type of play. They don't have anything going, so I felt like the under felt like a really good spot here, -110, good odds as well.
Yeah, I mean it's like so bad losing 100 games. Like you're really predicting a terrible season, but this is just kind of a terrible team. And
it's not good. Like there's no one on this team that stands out to me where I'm like they're an absolute stud. Like outside of Sandy can be, but
yeah, I wouldn't even. But like Sandy's probably going to be on the move at the deadline 100%. Or something.
Like especially like I was thinking like one injury to this team, they might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, Sandy could also get like re-injured. I mean, their best hitter might be like Xavier Edwards, who's honestly not even much of a hitter. He's just kind of like he'll steal, upwards of like 50 bases this season
if he can get on base enough.
But like it's a depressing fucking lineup. It just doesn't even look like this team has much of a direction either.
The Nats have an interesting over for their win total. I mean, obviously Dylan Cruz is going to get better. Obviously, you like C.J. Abrams on that side of things. Hitting wise, I think they are going to be a better team this season. Obviously, I still have a few question marks with obviously pitching rotations and bullpen. How well can they?
Their arms are going to suck.
Yeah, so it's pretty much how many points they're going to put up. And I think they have a good young squad. I think they're heading in the right direction. Does that fully translate this season? I'm not entirely sure. 70.5 wins feels like it's definitely a doable spot. They're favored to go over. On DK, it was a little bit closer odds, -122 to compare to -102. But yeah, no, I like the Nationals to go over. That would be the way I would lean. I'm not like super sold on the idea, but I definitely can be talked into that for sure. Pairing it with the under with the Marlins.
Yeah, I like their lineup. It just feels.
No,
I don't know if I'd want to take.
In this division, it's tough too.
Yeah, 100%.
Guaranteed L's all across the board.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Heading to the NL Central.
Sorry, real quickly, there is a player prop I want to take in this division.
100%.
One of my favorites is Matt Olson to go over 31.5 home runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's on Underdog. Last year hit 29.
Okay.
So didn't get it last year, but he's coming off of seasons of 54 in 2023 and 34 in 2022. I think it was just a really down year power wise for Matt Olson and just kind of all around, just his contact, his quality of contact, whatever. And I don't know. He's just a guy that's going to give you like damn near 155 games, 160 games in a season. And again, like I just think a lot of this Braves team had such a down year, and 30 home runs feels like the very baseline of Matt Olson. I think he can get upwards of like 40, even like low 40s maybe, if he really is hitting like a 90th percentile outcome. So Matt Olson is a dude I'm all in on to go long.
Yeah, no, I've seen that a lot, I feel like, too.
Really?
Yeah, I watched a few videos this weekend, and I feel like a lot of people were on the Matt Olson side of things. The one player that is going to sound like a stupid player prop, but it's kind of like a fun one that I saw and I kind of liked was the under. I mean, it's never fun to bet an under, but the under on Soto's steals. His steal line's at 7.5. He had 7 last year. I feel like it's just a high line for Soto. He's not getting many attempts to even steal bases, let alone get 7.5. I feel like that'd be a pretty comfortable under. It's like one of those unders in football where you're like, he's just not going to see the opportunity. I don't think Soto's going to see many opportunities to be stealing a ton of bases this year.
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
7.5 under feels like just a solid, random, fun spot to take instead because most people take it home runs, hits, or whatnot. But I felt like that was a pretty cool one. Outside of that, looking through my ones, I don't think I have any else for the NL East.
Yeah, those are my two. Braves to win division, Matt Olson over 31.
I saw people taking a lot. Again, I'm not taking it personally, but I saw a lot of people taking Pete Alonso. A lot of people on him.
What was his line at?
35.5.
35.
People think he's going to, I saw one guy was like, juice it to 40. I'm like, that's fucking insane. But, I mean, we'll ride. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to hit that, but he's one of the top guys to get in the most home run category. He's one of the smallest multipliers for it, at least on the UD at 9x compared to other guys who are all the way like 18, 17. So he's in the run for sure. I don't think I'll like it myself, but I've seen some other people take it. So if that's something that interests you, or you're just another Mets junkie,
you plan on making like a giant NL play or something, or are you just taking everything kind of straight up?
After the NFL bit me in the ass with taking too many fucking 5-leg, 7-leg bullshits, I think I'm taking mostly everything straight up.
Okay.
Especially because with the MLB, just confidence level from the MLB compared to just other sports I've been betting on this season, I feel like it's a little bit lower. So the more straights I could just hammer home, I feel more confident, especially getting plus money value on stuff I feel great about, which I feel like there's a lot of value on the board with MLB comparative to some of the like football and NBA. So trying to take advantage of that. I'm parlaying all of my division winners though, 100%. Yeah. I always parlay the division winners, and I parlay a lot of the win totals. Those like are two things I normally do. Straights for player props seem to be more my go-to.
Yeah.
Because player props I feel like are so, especially with injuries in the MLB, like if you miss however many, like you could be cooked.
Right, that's fair.
So I feel like for the main, like NBA's the same way. I don't take many like season-long NBA props for the same reason. One injury, you're out 20 games. That's 20% of your entire game total. Like you're cooked.
Yeah.
So I lean to go straights for them. But whenever I do division winners and stuff, I normally will parlay it. So,
same. So are you taking the Braves too?
Yeah, I'm taking Braves. I dabbled a little bit with the Mets for fun. I have one with the Mets on my picket, but that's about it. I did who I actually think is going to win with the Mets, and we'll get into the other team with the Braves and the other teams. And then I added like a Mets. I dabbled a little bit down here for some fun, and we'll get into that now. And then I also did a little bit of mixing fun. I have a spicy take for this one that I think could be an interesting talk around too when we get there. So NL Central though, how you feeling? It's pretty even across the board here. If almost anyone can win. Obviously the Pirates down at the bottom. Skeens, everybody talking about young pitching rotation at the top. A great pitching rotation, just not a lot of firepower from the hitting side of things. Obviously the Cubs favored to win at -105. Brewers plus 290. Reds 490 and Cardinals 850.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think the order is correct in favorites. I am kind of surprised how big of a favorite the Chicago Cubs are. I do, like in a vacuum, I do think they win this division. I think it's pretty much a 2-horse race though, and it's between them and the Brewers.
I agree.
And Brewers being, what is that, plus 280?
Plus 290.
Plus 290, like that seems
good value.
A little not right. That seems a little unfair. Like, I don't know what the percentage is off the top of my head, but it just wouldn't be surprising if the Brewers won this division. Like, they consistently overperform all their projections, even after losing, superstar after superstar. Like, there's a lot of talk of losing Willie Adames, losing Devin Williams, but, like, we've seen them lose Corbin Burns and still be really fine. They've lost Christian Yelich to like season-ending injuries and they've been fine. Yeah. And I think on the flip side, you have the Chicago Cubs who like perennially underperform. So it's
the narrative's there for sure.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like a fucking an NFL comparison.
Yeah.
Of like that one scrappy team that is like always like making their division interesting, like maybe a little bit like the Steelers. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not hell-bent on that NFL comparison, but I don't know. In my division parlay, I took the Cubs because I when you're doing 6 legs, you kind of just need them all to be correct.
Yes.
Obviously. And I do think they win the division, but I think if you were going to like just take them individually and you're looking at like best value on the board, it probably is the Brewers.
Yeah, I like the Brewers. I like their rotation a lot. Like I'm even like looking back at it now. Like adding Cortez, I think is going to be a solid add this year for sure.
A lot of people like Cortez.
I think he was solid. Like he was okay until the back end of last year. He was good. I feel like almost objectively, and then back end of last year really struggled. Woodruff, I feel like is as a solid shout every season to come out and do some things. Obviously, Peralta. I think it's an interesting rotation. I think they can definitely make a splash and get hot. I feel like I have more questions about their starting lineup of just the hitting than anything else this season.
Really?
Yeah, comparatively.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just lower on guys, but I think like I'm excited to see Garrett again. But
this rotation, when I look at it, everybody feels like a spot and a half like too high. Like I like Freddie Peralta a lot, but like him being your ace, I think you'd feel. I think realistically he's like a 2.5 starter. You know, like if he is your 2, you're kind of fine with it. You prefer him to be a 3. Like Tobias Myers, Nestor Cortez, I think they're all like solid guys, but I almost feel like they're counting on them too much. But they do have a lot of guys like in the mix where it's like Brandon Woodruff can come back from an injury. DJ Hall, I kind of like. Their bullpen, I do like their bullpen.
Yeah, no. I think their pitching is their strength.
Yeah, even with losing Devin Williams, I think their bullpen is going to be fine. Their lineup feels good. Like Jackson Chourio, Christian Yelich. I'm actually not sure what Christian Yelich is going to be. I don't want to doubt Christian Yelich, but I think in the back of my mind,
I'll put my right hand up. I'm doubting him. I feel like I just stopped believing at this point.
Yeah. I honestly, if Christian Yelich was like on a different team, I kind of feel like he's cooked. But I think because he's on the Brewers and there's like some Brewer magic that they have, I kind of feel like he'll probably be fine. I just don't want to doubt him, I guess. But William Contreras, dog.
Part of me is just like, this is a young team. And I feel like whenever you have a young team with a little bit of spark, if they get even like the slightest bit of hope, I feel like they can take it a long way. And again, like you said, just the narrative of the Brewers, like they overperform. And I think with a young, like a Sprice squad, I guess you could say, of just guys that I think will have a better projection to stay healthy over the long-term time, just because of the age, I think it gives them a better chance. The Cubs, again, underperform a lot. I think a 290 is a fantastic value.
Yeah, I got to see that percentage.
So, yeah, I feel like the Brewers are definitely a good shout. And, I mean, I like their pitching rotation a lot. Just to give a shot. Obviously, they don't have, like, that ace, but, you know.
Brewers are an interesting team. But, I mean, just going off the Cubs, because, like, that's the team that, you know, I picked to win this division. Adding Kyle Tucker, obviously, fucking dope move from them.
I agree, yeah.
And then,
stud.
You know, I just think they are an incredibly safe team. Like, they're another team that I think really underperformed last year, and I don't remember how many wins they got, but, like, they should be a team that wins upward of, like, 90 games, I think. But, like, I also kind of feel like they're a little bit of losers.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit.
What do you think about their floor? Like, if you were to be like, their floor season is roughly around what?
I think, like, I mean, if you only win, like, 81 games, like, you go 500, like, that's a disaster. And I guess that's in the realm of possibilities. But, like, I also wouldn't be surprised if they won upwards of, like 91 games, I guess, because it is a relatively weaker division. I think you have a lineup that is filled with, like, good hitters. This is going to be one of the best defensive teams
100%.
In baseball, and I think it's great. some of their starters I'm a little iffy on. Like Shota was kind of up and down last year, fell off a little bit. I don't know exactly what we're going to see from him this year because it kind of feels like guys who come over from Japan, I feel like a lot of times they have early success because they're like new and people don't really have a read on them, and then they can get figured out, and it's kind of up to them to like adjust and make changes. So Shota's going to be interesting. I think overall he's going to be a very good starter. Steele's great. Tyone, I think you feel fine. Boyd, you feel fine. Don't really love Colin Ray, but
yeah. I mean, the over-under here is 86.5. I feel like that's like a perfect spot of just like I'm not touching it. If I were to lean anything, I think I would agree with you. Probably the over.
Like you should.
That
like
floor is definitely there, which is tough.
I think you should like win this fucking division pretty like soundly. But yeah, it's a team that I don't really trust. I was really hoping that they were a team that traded for Alex Bregman, signed Alex Bregman, but I think they believe in their guy Matt Shaw, who's coming up through the minors, and it'll be interesting to see what he is. But
Brewers are at 82.5, and I feel like that's a good spot to take the over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is like a very good team on paper, the Brewers, but they'll probably overperform that for sure.
Yeah. I feel like every year we're saying they're not that good of a team on paper.
Yeah, like they're not a team that I'm necessarily going to watch and like want to root for because like on paper it doesn't look good. I think it's going to be like a painful over if you take it. Like it's just not going to be a fun watch. But I think it's probably more likely than not.
How do you feel about the Cardinals, Reds, and Pirates down below? Anything inkling, plays you like?
I mean, I don't love the Cardinals or the Pirates. I don't think they're like serious contenders at all. I think the Cardinals are gonna end up selling more pieces. Pirates are, they got cool young pitchers, but their offense is so abysmal that they're
horrible.
They're not really like a threat to do much.
Yeah.
The Reds, I think, are an interesting team. Hiring Terry Francona, I think, is like a good sign because I think generally, like, he's not going to come out of retirement to manage this team if he didn't believe in the pieces that they have. Mm-hmm. Like, Terry's not coming out of retirement to like fucking coach the Marlins. Yeah, in my opinion, it just seems like he wouldn't. So, Reds were a team that I believed in a lot last year and was kind of let down, but they got. I like their hitters. They got some pitching that I like, but. It just overall the team just feels like too erratic for me to like really want it back.
Yeah, their bullpen to me kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, the bullpen's definitely not great.
But hitting wise should be interesting to say the least. I think they have definitely some talent. I mean, obviously whenever you have Ellie, it's always makes things interesting.
Yeah, I mean Ellie's an absolute stud. Matt McClain, I'm hoping he can come back from injury and be what he was kind of projected to be beforehand. Mm-hmm. Like again, I guess same thing. Nick Lodolo, like, kind of needs to stay healthy.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, like feels like a big chunk below the Cubs.
Yeah.
And then 100%. Brewers are just kind of there because they're the Brewers, and they're like just gonna overperform every fucking metric.
Yeah, I think they're giving the Pirates just a little bit too much credit here for the odds at plus 1,000 just because of the names they have. When realistically, I don't think they have any shot in hell.
Yeah,
value-wise there. But it is interesting. Any win totals you really like in this division? I don't have any myself that I absolutely love. But if you do, maybe.
No, I mean, maybe, like, can you go to the win totals? Mm-hmm. I know we said Cubs are like 86. I mean, I'm taking the Cubs to win the division. I feel like that's enough for me. Like, I don't want to actually bet on their
win total 86, and then we go... Where's the Pirates at? I looked at that.
Although maybe that's like better to take their win total than division because their division and win total is like the same odds.
Yeah, it is 105 compared to like 110 or 112. Where's the Pirates? Am I tripping?
Cardinals, I have like no interest in backing.
Yeah, Pirates 75.5 is interesting. I feel like that's almost like a perfect spot for them. They're favored minus 122 to go over.
I think if I had to choose, I'd probably take under.
Really? You think their offense holds them back that much?
Yeah.
I think defensively they'll be all right. I think they'll be...
I don't think so. I don't know.
You don't think so?
Not really. Like, I'm just thinking of, like, who their studs. Like, Brian Reynolds not going to offer you much on defense. Neither is, like, O'Neal Cruz. Mm-hmm.
You think O'Neal Cruz steps up this year a little bit, though?
Yeah, for sure. I like him. I actually, there is one player prop, O'Neal Cruz, over 20.5 stolen bases.
Really?
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I think he should be more mid-20s, so I took that one on underdog. Obviously, fast dude. I think let me pull up his prior seasons. Had 22 last season, so I think just this season I don't know. I think he's going to be stealing more.
He also missed the span of time last year, didn't he? Or am I tripping? I think he got.
He played 146 games. I think that's about what you're going to expect from him.
Yeah, that's really about it. I don't have any plays for the NL for player props, at least for the NL Central. I do, though, when we get to my juicy division that I'm excited for, which is going to be the NL West.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Dodgers are going to win it. Obviously. But if we're going to have fun, let's talk about other teams. Because we know the Dodgers are the most fucking broken franchise, the best whatever. They crack every code. They do everything with contracts. They're minus 650 for a reason. Win total-wise and for fun-wise, I think the Diamondbacks could be a fun team to watch. I'm excited
100%.
About the Diamondbacks. I placed a division winner for funsies. Obviously not the serious one where I had the Dodgers, but for funsies, I placed the Diamondbacks to win at plus 1,000. I don't think it's going to happen in any stretch of the imagination, but it was something fun, and I really like their team total, which I don't know what it is on FanDuel, but let's check.
I think the Diamondbacks are, they're my fifth best team. I would still have them above any AL team and behind the Dodgers and a couple AL East teams. What is it?
86.5 at minus 118.
Wow.
I think that's a great spot. I think they can win upwards of I think they can win over 90 games.
Yeah, for sure.
In easy fashion. Especially, again, Corbin Carroll stays healthy, this team wins a lot of ball games. Obviously, they added Burns as well, which is going to be a huge addition to the rotation. I think this team is going to be a very fun team to watch. And obviously, they just get kind of stuck in a shitty situation with being in the division with the Dodgers. If they weren't stuck behind them, I think there's a real case that they could be a powerhouse coming in. But they add Burns. Obviously, Gallen's been a dog. The bullpen isn't bad. I don't hate it. And then their offense should be rolling this year. Naylor, Marte. Obviously, Guerrero stepped up last year, too, as well, coming over from my Blue Jays, sadly, and he's been balling out since then. Corbin Carroll obviously stays healthy, will be great in the outfield and playing in that whole spot. So
yeah, this is a team that scored the most runs last year, and then you switch out Christian Walker for Josh Naylor, which I think is a good move, at least offensively.
100%.
Christian Walker is like a Gold Glove first baseman, but it's just going to be a great offensive team for sure. And while they were a disaster pitching last year, you add Corbin Burns, which feels like a giant plus.
As long as he stays healthy, this team is going to be real good, and I'm super excited about it. And obviously, when we look at divisions, they don't have much of a real chance. But if you want some fun, I like to sprinkle them in. That was kind of my hot take of if there's a team that gets really hot, I think it's going to be the Diamondbacks. Comparatively to most of the NL outside of them. So
yeah, I think Dodgers are in a tier of their own.
100%.
And then I think in a second tier it's the D-backs, but they are still a tier above the Padres and the Giants for me.
Yeah.
So
the Padres are plus 950 over the Diamondbacks, which feels a little bit off to me.
Yeah, I guess they're only slight favorites over the D-backs, but yeah, I would much rather back the D-backs than the Padres.
How about your Giants down there? Anything? Any life? What do you feel over under win total?
I think their win total's around 81. I think they're going to be a fun watch. They're going to be a fun team, but I don't think it's going to equate to actually winning that many ball games.
Yeah, 79.5
okay.
is your win total.
I think I would take the over of that. I actually feel pretty good about the over. I just don't think best case scenario. I think best case scenario, they're an 86 win team. I don't think they go much over than that, but I do think they're well-rounded. I like the addition of Justin Verlander. I think he can have a bounce-back season. And then, Logan Webb's a stud. I like a couple pieces in their bullpen. Adames, like the addition.
100%.
100%. Jung-Ho Lee needs to stay healthy. But yeah, I think it's a very, it's a very good division. But unfortunately, those three teams kind of have no chance against the Dodgers, at least to win the division. I think in a series, if the Dodgers and D-backs met in a best of 7 playoff series. Like, I think 100% the D-backs have a like legitimate shot of taking it. But over the course of 162, like the Dodgers offensively are so loaded. Their bullpen's amazing. Their starters are amazing. And then they also just have like incredible depth too, to where like worst case scenario, this team probably wins like 91 games.
I want to see what their win total is. I honestly didn't even look at it because I just kind of disregarded it as soon as I.
There's like no number that's going to be too high for me.
No.
The Dodgers.
104.5.
Yeah.
Not too
That's
high?
insane.
Not too high?
That's crazy, but they probably...
no number is too high for me. It looks at 104.
I would still take the over in 104, to be honest.
Okay, they're favored over to go 104.
Yeah.
Minus 112 compared to the minus 108 on the other side. That was funny.
Yeah.
I was expecting to be like 99 or like 98. I'd be like, 100 wins easy, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
105 win to be your like bare minimum. That's insane. Floor of this team is insanely high.
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how you could like come up with a disaster season for them.
No,
like if you were like
everybody to get
if you were like Snell gets hurt, Glasnow gets hurt, Shohei gets hurt, it's still like a fucking loaded team.
Yeah,
they still
insane.
should win that division.
It's absolutely insane for sure. So their total being 104 is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
The other total I kind of like, and I might be just sipping the fucking juice the wrong way, but the Rockies being at 59, where the hell are they? They're at 59 wins.
Is
I'm like,
super fucking low.
That's like, I just don't think they're going to be the second worst team in baseball. Like, I don't think they're going to repeat to be the second worst team. I think there's a lot of other teams that are going to blow up and be absolute disasters. Like last year, they had a disaster season. Period. Like you can't get much worse than being the second worst team next to the worst team damn near of all time with the White Sox.
They are kind of built like that.
They're bad. They're bad. But 59 wins, I feel like you can like walk into 60 wins.
No, I'm kind of down to ride. Their lineup is interesting. They got some hitters that I can like buy into. Like I can buy into Brenton Doyle, Nolan Jones. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do it with Chris Bryant. I think he's like a 0, but like if you did get something from Chris Bryant, that'd be cool. Tovar's
just
cool.
a few games. All it is a few games. Just give me a few games.
Their pitching's going to be a fucking disaster.
Oh, horrible.
Though.
Like they might have, the White Sox exist, but they might have one of the worst rotations, bullpens. They're horrible. They have no defense, but offensively, they might be able to string together a few good games. Might be able to have those random, just easy. Like 60 wins is so low that I feel like I don't know. Again, sipping the juice the wrong way, whatever you want to say. Like
I'm kind of down
just
to
like
take over.
It's a vibes thing for me. It's not like I don't have super hard numbers behind it. It's just like I don't hate the team enough to where I'm like 50 wins is a lock.
Let me look at the lineup real quick. I think if I look at
look at the lineup,
I could be more into it if I just look at some hitters real quick.
But yeah, so that was the one total that I did take where I was like, this is a complete vibes.
Ryan McMahon. I don't know, man. I think 62 is very likely.
I like it a lot. They're behind the White Sox. I think the White Sox are the only ones projected lower at 54.
Yeah,
we'll get into that next, but
some player props. Tatis.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 of them. Over 30.5 home runs.
Okay, I had the same one for that. So
I think, I just think like range of outcomes, he could go upwards of like high 30s. I think he definitely has that in his bag. So it's, for me, like all these player prop bets I'm taking, it's just kind of like, I think 30 is on the lower side of like 50th percentile of what Tatis can do. Like
100%.
I think if you're talking about like floor 10, 20, 30th percentile, I think, he's in that range of like 25 home runs. But I think if he hits like his ceiling, his max 90th percent outcome, I think he's like a 40 home run guy.
That's baked into a lot of his odds. Like you can like this is underdog, so it's a little bit different. But even on underdog, you can see like his 7.6x is better odds to hit, or it's worse odds, lower odds than it is compared to like a Pete Alonso who's projected 35 home runs. So clearly they're baking in his ceiling is way higher than a lot of these guys. And I think he has that ceiling to where he can like as you said, 40 home runs is not out of the question by any means. 30 just feels like a super low number. Him to get 32 feels like a lot. He just has to stay healthy.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. And I think like I don't know if people are like fatigued on Tatis maybe. I don't know if that's I'm not trying to push that narrative. I don't know if that's a real narrative.
Yeah.
But I just think like maybe people forget that like he's like 24, and I just feel like there's probably another gear in this dude that we may have not seen. Like I don't know. I think Tatis is one of the best ball players in the game, and I feel like he's kind of been he's like not in that conversation anymore. And
I feel like that's insane that he's not. Like I agree. I think he's insane.
Maybe. What's his stolen base one too? Because I've also
half.
took the over of 20.5. Yeah, I mean Tatis, the range of outcomes for him is like so wide on all these counting stats that like
last year he had 11 stolen bases.
But like the 2 years prior, I'm sure he's gone over. Maybe.
Yeah, let me look. Stolen bases he had 11 last year, 29 the year before that, 25 the season before that he played fully, obviously 2022 with the injury, but that's in 102 games last year as well. So you obviously knocked down a lot of games. 141 in 2023 and 2021, his last other full season was 130 games. So if he plays around 130, you feel pretty confident about it.
Yeah.
Obviously last year too, he had a major slump for a while when he was coming back. You can see it projected in comparative to his hits compared to the previous 2 seasons. So we'll see really what he does. As long as he's getting on base, I feel there's always a solid shot. Stolen bases feels like a good line for me as well. 20.5, I like that.
Yeah, and kind of going along that, I was looking at MVP odds for the National League. Like it's kind of tough to be like someone's gonna outpace Shohei, especially if the dude starts pitching well. I haven't like taken it yet, but I kind of because I don't love the odds of it. On Action Network, which is just kind of a consensus, they have Shohei at plus 170, Soto at plus 570, Tatis at 8-1. So,
yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, I mean, third favorite. I kind of like he would be my pick outside of Shohei. I think it's maybe a little foolish to just like not pick Shohei. You might be overthinking it, but I think Tatis, gonna have like an MVP caliber season this year. I feel it from the kid.
I mean, honestly, you're getting good value at plus 135. I feel like for taking the Dodgers to just win the NL straight up. Like maybe the Braves come close at some point, but I just don't think.
I think Braves could do it.
You think?
Yeah.
550?
550. I mean, I think it's
doable for sure. Like I could see a world where it happens.
And that's an interesting number. 5-1. I wouldn't take anybody outside of the Braves. I think the Braves are the only real only real shot to like outpace the Dodgers, but
like I feel like the Braves are though a team where it's like, say Acuna goes down again, Strider doesn't find his like rhythm, like they could be behind even, like we said before, like the Phillies could take over that division as well. Like I think there's more opportunities for them to go down compared to the Dodgers.
Yeah, for sure. Like Braves would need to hit closer to their ceiling. Dodgers would need to hit closer to their floor. I'm kind of just thinking like range of outcomes is like 5-1 enough. Personally for me, I think it might be just because I'd much rather root for the Braves than the Dodgers. Yeah, but like dude, I feel like Dodgers winning the World Series is like it's got to be like one of the easier picks in like all of sports to like pick a preseason champion, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like even trying to pick like the Chiefs to win a Super Bowl, like they feel like a safe bet every year, but they're not as much of a lock as like the Dodgers are, or like, I mean, dude, the Dodgers feel like the Warriors with Durant.
The National League playoffs to make the playoffs just in general minus 8,000.
Yeah,
compared to the next closest is 355.
Right,
That's insane. That's actually insane.
One of the greatest teams ever assembled.
No, like actually, you can also do individuals to make the playoffs. It's kind of lit.
Yeah, I was looking at that before we started recording. I think
I didn't even see this.
Padres to miss playoffs, I think, is a pretty good bet. I think it was slight plus money. Yeah. Just because I think they definitively finished behind the Dodgers and the D-backs in their division, and then you also have the East, which is loaded with Braves, Phillies, Mets. I think those 3 teams are all locks to make the playoffs, which then only leaves you
-290.
Which only leaves you 1 spot left as a wild card. And I think the D-backs are definitively better. And then I think the Giants have a chance to like sneak past them.
A little homo bias. I don't mind it. I think
they could
to make it.
Maybe there's even a central team. Maybe the Brewers do overperform, but like the Cubs are also good. I think it's a much challenging. Are they plus money to miss playoffs, Padres?
No, they are -120 to miss.
Oh, they're -120.
-120 to miss, but it's still not bad for when you're taking a miss playoff one.
I do think they are a good team though. NL's loaded.
Yeah, wouldn't be too fun of a bet to be cheering against, but it definitely has some value there for sure. Where is the just World Series? Huh? Am I tripping? Oh, there it is. Yeah, +240 for the Dodgers to win. So you're getting some value. Atlanta Braves next +900. Yankees +900. 1,000 for the Phils. 1,100 for the Mets, and 1,600 for the Orioles.
Yo, what's D-backs? They got D-backs kind of buried, dude.
3,300.
Dude,
you think they can make a run? I mean, I'm in. I told you I'm all in on them. So
the thing is like I would have, if we're just power ranking teams, I would have the D-backs way higher, but they would also have a much harder path trying to get to the World Series.
Yeah, like I think the D-backs are better than the likes of like the Mariners.
They're definitely better than the Twins, better than the Tigers, better than the Cubs. I said they were my 5th favorite team.
Yeah, no, I think there's some value. I mean, obviously, I think Dodgers are a lock, like you said, but if you're going to take any value for funsies, I think Diamondbacks is a good shot at +3,300. My only worry is, like, if Burns goes down, it might be looking bad for the Diamondbacks at some point.
Yeah, I'm not, like, that concerned about an injury to Burns.
No, I'm not super concerned. I'm just saying in the hypothetical, that would be the one thing that would happen where I'd be like, that's tough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, let's look at, hold on, I had another underdog play I want to get to real quick.
We could take the Dodgers and the D-backs to win the NL, and then if, like, Dodgers end up winning, we just get our money back.
Mm-hmm.
But then if Snakes end up surpassing them,
then
we're really cashing out.
That might have to be a play. I kind of like Corbin Carroll. It's a longer shot bet, but I took it. It's Corbin Carroll to have the most stolen bases. His projection's at 40. And I think if he has a full healthy season, there's a real chance that he kind of almost soars even over that mark.
He definitely could. Wait, sorry, what were the odds to lead?
Again, this is on underdog, but it's 0.293x, so about 3x. You're getting on the value there. And I think he's the 2nd highest projection or 3rd highest projection.
Yeah.
So I think it's values there. For me, honestly, it's health. He stays healthy. I think there's a real chance. I want to quickly look up.
I think the problem that I have with that is he has to say, like, it's not good enough to, like, stay healthy enough to where he's, like, on the field. He has to stay, like, really healthy. Because I feel like if he has, like, a nagging shoulder injury, but he's, like, still playing, it could just deter him from, like, stealing. Like, it'll always be part of his game, but it might, like, hinder him from, like, you know, leading when you also have, like, you know,
like
Ellie,
in 2023, I just kind of looked at 2023, 155 games, last year 158 games, so definitely same healthy, but again, like you said, the nagging injuries definitely were a cause last year. 54 stolen bases in 2023.
Yeah.
And it's like if he 54, I mean, fuck. And you're getting it at 40 and 35 last year, and I felt like he was dealing with a lot last year, and he's still at 35. 40, I mean, maybe I'm being super optimistic, and I feel like I probably am.
No, I don't think it's
I think 30, getting it at 39.5 feels like just a good spot to have. And then going for most stolen bases to add a little bit of juice onto it too. If you want to sprinkle like half a uni or a 0.25 unis on that, that's kind of how I lean towards it. To kind of add on.
All right, let's take it from the top. Go over all the bets we're making in the National League. With the East, we got Braves to win East.
Braves to win the East feels like a pretty easy bet. Not thinking about it too hard. Sorry, Mets fans. I know you're out there.
Are we taking
deeply apologize.
Team over-unders in this division?
I'll probably add in when we get there. I think Marlins under feels like a good spot. Let's just see what the odds come out to when we add everything in. Do you agree with me? Marlins Under.
I'm always down to fade the Marlins.
Yeah, Marlins under -110. Get some good value there.
Matt Olson over 31.5.
They can't be combined into a single play. What the hell? And then we're gonna add. Sorry, what'd you say?
Matt Olson homers, dongs.
Matt Olson home runs. What's he at? 30.
On underdog, he's 31.5.
33.5 on books.
Fuck
Interesting.
Fuck it, give me it. I don't care.
All right, 33.5 on books.
Ooh.
31.5 on UD. UD's got some value. Don't miss out. Use code BDG when you sign up on Underdog. All right.
What else in this division?
I'm trying to think of what I had. I'm not on my phone. I like the Nats, but we won't go there. I don't feel confident enough in the Nats. Central. I think we just go Cubs to be smart. Like
All
I
right,
just
I'm
don't
down.
overthink it.
I'm down. Or do you want to take Cubs win total instead?
Cubs win total.
That way, if
Brewers
like
to
Brewers,
win.
that way if Brewers like break out like another 90-win season, like Cubs
Yeah,
can
I'm
still
down.
hit.
I think Cubs 86 is a good spot. Oops. Cubs 86.
But it's also like it should be such a weak division.
Yeah, and you're getting the same value either way. So you're fine.
Okay.
You're not
Cubs to
losing
win
anything.
over 86.5.
Yeah, I like it. And then we're also gonna. Did we have something in that division? I don't think we did.
I don't think we.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
have
we were
any
pretty light in the
player
Central.
props. Or yeah, no, I'm good.
I didn't
I'm
have
good.
win totals in Central.
I'm good. I'm good.
West,
Okay.
Diamondbacks. Give me the win total.
I think
for the backs.
Oh, absolute lock. They're also 86.5.
Arizona 86.5. They're a little bit juicy at -118, but you live with it. I really like that. And then we pair that with the division winner of the Dodgers, -650. There's negative value in that, but it's a lock.
No, take that off.
It's a lock.
Take
a
it
lock is a
off.
lock. There's no value in that.
Let's fucking
let's go to a play prop real quick. Home runs.
Let's hammer Tatis everywhere.
Tatis, titties to go over.
How do you feel about Dodgers and D-backs to win the NL? If
Value play. Get
if
the
Dodgers
secure
win,
play.
it's no.
Well, to win the
no
NL,
problem.
the NL, it's like -8,000 for the Dodgers.
No, not NL West, just NL.
No, I think I'm not.
No, that's like -8,000 was them to like make playoffs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. League one. Yeah.
It was like
you're right,
240 to
right.
win the NL.
Plus 135 to win the NL.
What? Oh, I thought what was 240?
That was the.
Oh, maybe
World
that was
Series.
to win the World.
Yeah, that was the World Series.
Okay, well, you know what? It's the math still works out to
Yeah,
where
'cause it's
if
135 and then 15.
if you put one unit on them and the D-backs, if the Dodgers win it, whatever, you get your money back.
You get more than your money back.
You get
Yeah, you get a little little boosty boost.
You get 35% of a unit back.
Yeah.
But then if the D-backs pull it out,
You are cooking.
yeah.
At plus 1,500. No, we'll definitely.
1,500 feels good.
That's a great spot for the Diamondbacks. Like them a lot. We'll do that as well.
I took a couple like pitcher props in the NL, but I honestly don't feel great about them.
Yeah, I looked through a little bit and I didn't feel overwhelmingly passionate about anything. So
Took Hunter Green over 162.
not bad.
Feels like he should get that if he stays healthy.
Yeah, he at one point didn't he throw up in a game?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was lit. Good for him. Then had like 11 Ks. Nuts. That's nuts. Yeah. Okay. You said 162.
162.
That's a good spot.
And a half.
Good spot. Are we fading Strider again?
Nah.
Dude.
His lines can't be like that. His line. I mean, like last season, his lines were like 220
Dude, it was
strikeouts.
nuts. I think it might have been even higher than that. It was insane. I want to go back on my video just to see what it was. I feel like it was so high.
Real quickly, Hunter Green strikeouts. What does
Okay.
it look like?
100 Green strikeouts, 162.5, -113 across the board, over under, pretty even.
Down to ride.
I could see a clear path, yeah. He had some big games last year.
All right, fuck
Big
it.
games.
Add it
So
to
if
the
he-
slip.
He goes there, huge. FanDuel's not letting us parlay it, so we can't see the total odds. But got a pretty big, juicy slip here. I'll show it on the screen in a graphic of everything we took. Heavy on the snakes.
Heavy on Tatis.
Big titties year, as
Big
well
titty
as I
snake
think
season.
Corbin gets a few stolen bases. We ended up taking. Did we take the Pete Alonso here? Did we do that? Or am
No,
I
I
tripping?
don't think so.
Pete Alonso was one of the things I think I saw. Matt Olson though, 33.5, taking that. So make sure we take some juice and fuck the Marlins. Always fading the fish in this one. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Who you think is going to win the NL. Teams you think that could pursue. Maybe we were wrong on somebody. You're super high on the Brewers, super high on the Cubs. Whatever it is, make sure to let us know in the comments below. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.